Yeah, okay. So these messages start popping up.
I know. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna move this over here so we can see it. I'd rather you be up here, but that way we
Nope.
could see it right there. Can you see the comments for when people come in? If
Yeah,
anybody comes in, okay.
I haven't seen anybody pop in, but I don't see any names yet.
They will. If you're just jumping in, we have the chat open, guys. I think you'll have to click the chat restream for it to pop in. But we are going to go ahead and get started because we are going to record it as well. Hello. I can't see who is saying hello. You'll have to tell me your name unless you're nope, you'll have to click it or tell me who you are. But if you have questions, let us know and we will answer them as best as we can. I'm Kitty, and down below me is Miss Rebel. And we are going to be talking about meditation and cannabis usage and the benefits and some different strains to help you if you choose to partake in it. Hey, Lisa. And so
Lisa.
we will just get started. And if you have questions or anything like that, just kind of let us know. We decided to talk about cannabis usage and meditation and the benefits and things like that, just kind of searching for some different themes to go through. And I myself cannot meditate easily. My brain is far too active to be able to just sit and meditate. So I have to have something to make me kind of drop in. And my vape pen is one of those things.
Right.
I do use it before I'm doing anything spiritual. I do use it at night. I do before I meditate or do any kind of spiritual practice for myself as well, especially if I am going to be doing my own personal spiritual work or journeying in a little bit to kind of get some answers. So that is kind of my reason on using it, at least towards meditation and the spiritual practice. There is a lot of arguments between spiritual community and other communities on if cannabis usage is actually beneficial. You will find some spiritual practitioners that say absolutely do not use it. It's not good for you. Here we always say whatever works for you works for you. It may not be for everyone. And I would say that if you're using it to and it overtakes a part of your life or something of that nature, that's a little bit different. But if you're using it for pain management and you're using it for meditation and you're using it for things of that nature, and it's not something that is taking all your money and taking all your time, then I think you are good to go. So if you guys have questions regarding any of the strains after we get done talking, shoot myself or Rebel a message. I probably won't be able to answer it for you, but Rebel will. And if you can't get in touch with her, I definitely can get you in touch with her. So, Miss Rebel, what recommendations do you have when it comes to using cannabis and meditation?
So from what research I've done and the knowledge that I have, I know that about, I'd say 85, 90% of the strains that are suggested for meditation are going to be an indica or an indica dominant hybrid. Those are more of the full body effects, to relax you and kind of, like you said, drop in for the meditation, get ready, you know what I mean? There are some sativas, and sativas are normally like the cerebral effects, which is in the head. They usually tend to be more energetic. So someone, like ADHD or anything, to where something that energizes them actually slows them down. Some people may find it easier to use the sativa over the indica to actually slow them down and get into it. But usually everybody else, I would say, would be on the indica strain of things.
Okay, so the sativa is going to be the one that kind of, for most people, keeps you awake.
Right,
For most
right.
people, and then the
It's
indica is
gonna
going to
give
be
you
the
that
ones that
kind of give you that pep,
give you
instead
some
of
pep.
like sinking into the couch. You
I
feel
do
like you want to get up and do something.
become one with the couch. Um,
Right.
and then the indica is for becoming one with the couch,
Yes.
or the
Yes.
bed, or wherever,
Yeah, because
whatever you want to become
it
one
has
with.
it has the full body effect as to where the sativa is mainly around the head. It gives you more of that head high than it would the actual full
Full
body
body.
effect. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we did do, or Rebel did do some research to talk about different strains that would possibly be beneficial to use before meditating or to kind of drop in. And she's going to go over some of those. And if you guys have questions, pop them up here and we will get them answered as we can. So, what
Right.
is one of the first ones that, are you going to talk about the sativa, or are you going to talk about the indica
Yeah,
first?
we can do the sativa first. So I have two actual sativa dominant strains, and I have a sativa dominant hybrid. A lot of your strains nowadays are going to be a hybrid with all the cloning and mixing, and yeah, I mean, there's probably millions of strains out there today.
Sure.
Um, so it's hard to find just sativa and indica nowadays because of the hybrid. But if you prefer the sativa, you can get a sativa dominant hybrid, kind of still give you some of that indica properties, but at the same time, you can kind of switch them out as well. So one of the first sativa strains that I did research is called Lamb's Bread, or it's also called Lamb's Breath. It's known for the ability to bring in the positive vibes while also emitting an earthy and woody aroma. So the taste and the aroma is going to come from your terpenes, which I'll kind of touch on tonight. What's basically the dominant terpene, because each terpene is going to give you a different feeling per your effects. Um, but this lamb's bread was, it says that it's uplifting, peaceful, and it's a calming cerebral effect. So there's that sativa correlation again, for staying in the moment. So you're able to be more aware of, what's going on and things like that. The actual dominant terpene in this one is going to be caryophyllene. That is a large, um, it's found in a lot of the sativas, is the caryophyllene, which relieves the chronic stress and depression.
That's what I was going to ask next, if that was good for.
Yep. So the other sativa that I have is Laughing Buddha, is the strain name. It usually tends to be simultaneously bringing out the lightheartedness and the deep inner introspection in those who let the strain facilitate their meditation. So
Okay.
it's going to lend a hand to positivity, helping forget the day's stresses, focus on, what your practice is going to be during your meditation. Again, the dominant terpene in this one is myrcene,
Okay.
which helps you to be happy, upbeat, giggling, and relieves depression. Of course, like the Laughing Buddha would,
I don't have Laughing Buddha in mind, I don't think. I might. I
um,
might.
right. And then our sativa dominant hybrid is going to be the AK-47.
Okay.
It's also called just AK. It's kind of the opposite of the name. It's very peaceful, very serene mindsets. However, this strain here is for a higher tolerance person. So
Okay.
if it doesn't, if it doesn't take a lot for you to, just be goo, this strain is probably not the one to experiment with
Okay.
unless you have a higher tolerance.
Okay.
The euphoric power of this strain packs, wait a minute. This strain can detract from your meditation if prone to anxiety and paranoia. So if you tend to get anxious or paranoid, on certain strains, this one is not for you.
Alien OG does that to me.
Right?
Do you have time to
um,
answer a question real quick?
yeah.
Julie wants to know, so do all places grow differently, like different strains, or how do they grow differently, I guess, in different places?
So basically, with the different strains, is it all goes into what the mother and father plants were, and if they've spliced and cloned anything into it. So that's how they're creating these new strains. So they're taking, say they, took one of the laughing Buddhas, and then it took one of the lamb's bread and put them together. You now have a totally different strain. So different
Okay.
areas of the nation are going to be higher in certain type of strains because of the environment that they're in, as to where another strain, just like plants, any, house plant, really depends on where they're at and the atmosphere, unless they're growing inside where they can fully control every element to grow it.
That makes sense. Does
Yeah.
that help you, Julie? All right, and you're going to go on to
We're going to do indicas next.
indica. Okay.
Yeah. So one indica is Granddaddy Purple.
Okay. I've heard
I
of
know this
Granddaddy
one,
Purple.
right? I was gonna
I've
say this
heard of that
one's a
one.
very
Okay.
popular one. It has soothing effects that begin to crack open of its berry scented buds. So it has more of that citrus
Okay.
berry aroma. Um, it gives you a dreamy euphoria, which melts over the mind while the body eases into deep physical serenity. So again, that's where we go back into the full body effects instead of just the head high. Um, it's known for tranquilizing effects. Um, Leaves basically enough liveliness for both forms of meditation.
Okay.
The potent effects are detectable in both mind and body. It also has a cerebral euphoria and physical relaxation. It's good for
Okay.
pain, stress, insomnia, appetite loss, muscle spasms, and the dominant terpene for this one is myrcene, which is going to give you that citrusy type smell and taste to it, with the berry. Um,
That one sounds good. That one sounds good. Like that
yeah.
definitely is a good one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It has a lot of properties to it, and it's probably why it's so popular. Now, another popular one that I've always heard of before the whole craze started, like back in the day, was Northern Lights,
Okay.
which is another indica. It's known for its sedating and dreamy euphoria. In spite of its heavy tranquilizing effects, it's popular for yoga and other active forms of meditation. The dominant terpene is also myrcene in this one. So you'll start seeing a lot of the same characteristics in the indicas and the sativas, to where they have the certain terpenes in them. And if you really start paying attention to it, you can then start figuring out, trying different ones to see what you like and, what helps and what doesn't help. So it's kind of like the, elimination process
On
of just,
what works for
yeah,
you
just trying to,
specifically.
yeah, right. It does relax the muscles and eases the mind. It's used for depression, stress, pain, and insomnia.
Okay. So
For its
very similar
effects.
to the other.
Hmm. And then the third one is going to be Hindu Kush. So this one has more of a hypnotic trance-like state of mind. Basically good for focused meditation. So if you're doing a guided meditation where you have to really focus or, follow what somebody's saying, this one's a good one. Its dominant terpene is going to be limonene, which is, as it sounds, it's going to taste lemony. It's going to have that lemony citrus smell to it as well.
And what was that one called again?
This one's Hindu Kush.
Hindu Kush. Okay.
It's kind of sweet and earthy sandalwood aroma to it as well. It's going to induce a deep sense of calm that helps bring relief to pain, nausea, and stress disorders. So this one would be another good one for, anxiety and depression as well. And the last indica that I have is Kosher Kush, also known as Kosher OG.
Okay. It sounds like a pickle. It sounds like a pickle.
Right.
Right.
It's gonna basically bring a blissfulness, stress numbing blanket of euphoria, while basically easing every muscle into relaxation. Its dominant terpene is going to be myrcene as well, but it has a rich earth and fruit smell. So again, there's that myrcene and the citrus again with the berries and all of that, the fruity. Typical effects are pronounced relaxation, pain relief, and sleep often following after the use. So that's one that one melts you into the couch. Yes. And knocks you out. So that would be, if you meditate before bed, that, that might be a good way to, like get everything relaxed in your meditation and then drift off to sleep.
Fall asleep.
Would
it be good to do sleep work if you know that you're going in? Do you think it would be good to do dream work with, or do you think that it will make you not remember anything when you fall asleep?
I guess that would be really up to the user, the tolerance that they have, what exactly they're doing, how much they use before bed, things like that. I think those would all be factors on if that would work or not.
Gotcha.
I mean, I would try it, just to see, but
I'd try it once. I'd try it.
Right.
Hey guys, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks guys. Hey Shane. So now we're going to go over the hybrids. So usually with the hybrids, you can ask, if it's not labeled, you can ask, is this sativa dominant, indica dominant? And they should be able to tell you. Sometimes they're just 50-50. They can be 60-40, 70-30, it really depends. So finding something with your hybrids is going to be something that more attention to detail is going to be taken, by that point. So the first one I have is Blue Dream, which is, it's another popular one that usually I see like dispensaries sell out of first, from the ones that I've researched and stuff like that. That's their number one. Of course, it is blueberry flavored. So again, there comes your myrcene for your dominant terpene in this one as well, which usually that would tell me that it's going to be an indica dominant hybrid.
Okay.
Depending on the terpene, the dominant terpene. Right.
It's your favorite.
It's one of my Northern Lights and Blue Dreams, one of my faves as well. So, but this one gives you full body relaxation as well as the cerebral. So there's the hybrid, that it's throwing out there. You get both. It tends to begin with a steady gentleness, allowing you to coast lightly into a peaceful, ethereal state of mind, to get ready for your meditation. It also treats symptoms of depression, chronic pain, and nausea. And then another fan favorite is Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
So
that
that's
is
going to be another hybrid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a powerful euphoria, which can bring introspection into the new level as muscles relax and tension fades. So again, I would assume this is going to be an indica dominant, um, but it has caryophyllene as its dominant terpene. So it may be 50-50 to where the caryophyllene actually, overpowers that. But from the actual effects that they've reported, it could be, half and half. But it helps to be happy, hungry, and stress free. It helps chronic pain and nausea. Again, this one is kind of the tolerance level here. So if you're, if you're a lighty, this is not one you just want to jump on and,
Go
go
after.
at it. Yeah. This one, is if you have a low tolerance, it even has a warning to go slow. So, maybe mixing a little bit with a different strain, kind of incorporating that slowly.
So you're not hit so hard.
Right, right. Because that's another one that'll knock you on the butt. I think the last hybrid I have is Jack the Ripper, also known as JTR. Again, it's going to be a citrusy, uplifting, and good companion for mindful reflection. So this one is if you're doing inner work, this one will kind of help you, like keep that focus. Intense, spicy lemon and pine aroma. And the terpene on this one is terpenoline.
Terpenoline.
Right, terpenoline. It's one I haven't heard much about. So I probably will start researching that one as well because they really didn't touch on it in school either. It was mainly like the caryophyllene, the myrcene, the limonene, the pinene, things like that. But this one actually helps with intense and visually stimulating. So if you're looking for visuals, then this one will help you with that as well.
That would be interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Avron said, yep, she goes down quickly on the one you said before.
The one I said before?
Not this past one, but the one before.
The Girl Scout cookies?
Girl Scout cookie. Yeah, she says she goes down quickly. Julie says she needs she needs one with no munchies as a side effect.
Okay, so Julie, my experience on munchies is when you get your tolerance up high enough, you no longer get the munchies. Like it's just like taking an Advil and you just keep going. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you don't really get the munchies
or
anymore.
Go to sleep before that
happens.
Yeah,
or go to sleep.
They all make her hungry. Yeah, I always get that when I get that gross taste in your mouth where you're like starting to come down and it's like immediate. So I try to go to sleep before that happens. But if it's during the day, forget about it.
Right. Right.
They all make you hungry. Yeah, that's funny. So is there any others that are on there?
Nope, that's all I got. That's all 10 I had.
Do you guys have any questions? Oh, you chew gum or suck on a mint. It helps. It does.
It really does. They now have dry mouth lozenges to where you don't get cotton mouth anymore. Yeah.
That's that gross taste in the mouth for sure.
Right.
A pack of Oreos. Like a pack of Oreos.
Right.
Yeah, I do a lot of mine at night so I can sleep. And then of course I just do it recreationally through the day or whatever. But it is something that my son does use all the time. And I know there's many people that it helps their mental fluctuations and things like that as well. And so there's so many benefits other than just, doing meditation. It helps with pain management. It helps with depression. It helps with a lot of things for most people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for most people.
Anti-inflammatory as well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And there's there's even, and for those of you that can't smoke or you don't want to do edibles, they do have lotions. I've even used a nose spray before that.
Mm-hmm.
The nose spray actually helped with inflammation a huge amount.
That one will help with nausea too, because they just came out with a nausea medication that is a nose spray.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
And one thing I found interesting was our body already creates 2 cannabinoids and has a full system just like our nervous system with receptors and releasing of chemicals just like the dopamine and serotonin, but it's all cannabinoids.
Okay.
So another thing is, like when you use it, whether it be topical, whether it be, ingestion, smoking, whatever, it actually goes through the body and finds diseased or damaged cells, but yet doesn't go anywhere in the body that it's not needed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Without the presence of CBD or THC, literally our body makes 2 cannabinoids on its own. And like I said, has a full system just like our nervous system does. And that's what I found it's so interesting about it, that it doesn't go in the body where it's not needed. As to where we take an Advil, because we have knee pain, but it takes away our headache and not the knee, you know what I mean? It just it's very localized on where it goes and what it does.
Yeah, that's interesting on that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what kind of questions we have. Julie asks, can you explain are you talking about terpenes, Julie? I think that's what she's saying. Terpenes.
Oh, tincture. No, she's talking about the tinctures.
Okay. Explain Turrenti. How do you ever spell it?
Yeah, that's tinctures.
Are you talking tinctures or the terpene? Yeah. I think she's terpene.
No, because the comment above it says she got a liquid, but she can't open it.
Gotcha. Okay.
It should just be a twist top dropper if it's a tincture.
It should just twist off the top if that's what you're talking about, Julie. What Kitty said, terpenes. Can you talk about terpenes and what those are and kind of how that affects you?
So your terpenes is what's going to give you your taste and your smell. So what the bud smells like, what it tastes like, whether it's that citrusy or if it's that earthy, woodsy, sandalwood flavor, those are going to be your different terpenes. So each terpene, I mean, there's over hundreds and hundreds of terpenes that are out there in the plant. But your most dominant ones, if you do research on those, you'll start learning how they break down to create the buzz and the effect that you get off those buds. So basically, it's what defines yes, you have your sativa and indica, but the terpene itself is really going to be what's going to define your strains.
And does the terpene have to do with the medicinal qualities of what different terpenes do, or is that just have to do? Okay.
Yes. So some terpenes may give you that relaxing effect. Other terpenes may give you that energized, let's get some stuff done today effect. Some could be good for anxiety. Some could be, sorry, y'all. I don't know if y'all can hear. He's passed out cold. That's him snoring.
Oh my gosh.
He's passed out. Sorry, but so your terpene is going to be what really defines, and creates that effect that you get from it. And as well as the way it tastes and it smells. So that's kind of the underlying defining effect of what each strand is going to do for you.
She says, got to check into that. Yeah, you should be able to, that'll help you kind of determine which kind to use. Why would daytime relax me more than the night stuff? Because you're special. Rebel could probably talk about that. It affects everyone so different.
Well, I mean, it really depends on what you're doing for daytime. If you're using sativa for daytime, that's really going to hype you up and give you more energy, as to where your indicas are going to, give you that relaxation. So you might want to check to see what classification you're taking during the day, because it may be, because usually sativas, for, like I said, for the daytime, people use that to go to work, where they got to do stuff all day, or they're got errands to run or things like that. And usually indica is what will relax you.
She's a pink sugar.
Pink sugar. I'd have to look that strain up, Julie. I don't know off the top of my head if it's indica or sativa or anything like that. One good place to look, though, is leafly.com.
But the daytime, it relaxes her more.
Instead
of the nighttime, because I hear me snoring.
I know.
So funny. Some people are backwards or opposites on how it affects. Like, my son, everybody used to always say, "Oh, Benadryl makes him tired." Absolutely not. He would be up for days. I could take a tiny bit of Benadryl and I'll be out for a day or feel like I have a hangover, whereas he would be up and at him and absolutely no effects other than it sped him up. So I think it very much depends on the chemistry of you specifically, because overall it works one way, but not really.
But it's gonna differ also between your CBD and your THC as well, because those are two totally different medicinal effects coming from each one. So if you're speaking of CBD of daytime and nighttime, that's going to be something totally different. I mean, they should have the same kind of smells and tastes or whatever, whether it's tincture or your topical or edible or whatever, or just plain flower. But they have totally different effects on
THC.
the body, right, than the THC.
Yeah.
So, and I've never heard THC being daytime, nighttime. Like, I've never, had it referenced that way. Not unless it's like a tincture.
Well, they market some of it now, because there's one of the things, the little edibles that I take at night. It says it's specifically for nighttime, but it's called, can't remember what it's called. It's like Sleep Tight or something like that.
Okay, so sativa. Yeah, sativa's usually for the energetic, but if you have ADHD or some type of attention deficit or anything like that, to where anything that usually would hype up a normal person is going to slow them down. So it might be that you're the opposite on that, because usually, yes, sativa is used during the day.
You get no effect from CBD. Yeah. A lot of people.
CBD, you won't feel any effects from it other than the anti-inflammatory, as if you'd taken a ibuprofen. You're not going to get the high off of it, because CBD actually blocks our receptors as to where THC binds to them. So that's what gives you the high, is it actually binding to your receptors and releasing these chemicals. CBD will block it to where pain signals can't get from, from your knee to your brain.
Yeah.
If your knee's hurting. So it puts that block on it. So it's not going to give you the same effect as the THC would.
That's a great way to explain it.
Mhm.
She used to do 10 things at once. So, yep, ADHD.
Right?
That could be why. That could be why
That
it
could
affects
be
you
right.
differently. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like she was saying, with her son, he gets hyped up with Benadryl. I get hyped up with Benadryl. It doesn't lay me out like everybody else.
Oh gosh, yeah. I can't do it for whew.
But that's a good example on how you just kind of, got to start looking at the details of what you're buying and
Yeah.
and seeing what really helps you get to where you want to be, whether it's anything during the day life or night life or meditation, spirituality, it's kind of that test it out and see. If you don't like it, just remember, hey, I didn't like that. Let's try something else, or if you find one you like,
Bad experiences.
right?
Keep those bad experiences right. And Alien OG
Right.
is a no for me. That's a no. No Alien OG. No. Avron, you can have 5 cups of coffee and go to sleep. I can do that the same with any kind of soda or any kind of caffeine as well. I can do that.
I can do that with Red Bull.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions at all? We'll plan another one for the next couple weeks, and it will be similar to what strains would be good for for the big O. I think the next one we are gonna do, we talked about, is strains that are good to take and partake with during having sex. So that will be Avron. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Your mind does 100 miles per hour, but the body is no. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if there is other things that you would like to know, what strains would be good, or if you want to jump on with us as well at any time, you guys are more than welcome to. Just let us know. We have the next one planned that will be all about cannabis and sex. Sounds fun.
I know. I'm excited.
Me too. It'll be fun.
I've actually heard that they're trying to engineer specific strains just for that.
That
for
would
female
probably
and male.
I was going to say that would probably be super beneficial for a lot of people, especially if there was creams and things like that. That'd probably be super beneficial too.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah. So guys, next time it's all about sex and cannabis.
Yeah.
As appropriate as we can be. All right. Do you guys have any other questions before we jump off of here? We appreciate you guys joining us, and I will put this over on YouTube for anybody that wants to rewatch it. You can't wait. It sounds fun. I think it will be fun.
I think it will be too.
Yeah, there's so much out there and no one really talks about it. I mean, they just don't talk about it. So it'll be fun. All right, guys. I hope you have a good night. Thank you, Miss Rabble.
Have a good night.
I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys have a great night. Bye.
Bye.